Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here. Spank the knee me Tano here. The stuffed crust pizza here. Everyone, phone the knee call Tano here.
Whoa, Kenny!
Here the one Jack Harlow here. The
Can't you say something nice? Say something nice in the review.
Meanthony Guy Tano here. One Ecthony Site Tano here. Boothany Ba Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Porter Robinson album, Nurture. It's not a perfect record by any means. There were a few tracks that I was a little mild on in terms of reaction, but in some respects, to take it back to the first comparison I made earlier in the review, I feel like this is like the discovery of this generation. You know, it's very much an electronic music record that runs conceptual, cinematic, very holistic in its presentation of songs and aesthetics, the flow of the record too. And I hope if you listen to this, you get from it as well. I'm feeling a decent 2 strong 8 on this one, Tran. This album sounds like a fake Polaroid. This album sounds like nothing bad ever happened to you. This album sounds like you have at least 2 friends with trust funds. This album sounds like your mom paid for your concert tickets. This album sounds like your only concern in life is when Kylie Jenner is posting to Snapchat again. This album sounds like you spend too much time on your phone. Yeah, this new Chainsmokers album, it's not good. On here that sort of paled in comparison to others, but even though Daft Punk isn't pioneering into some kind of new electronic music territory, what makes this album so amazing to me is that it is a tribute to music, and it's a passionate, well-produced, and well-performed one at that. I'm feeling 8 on this LP. If you've given it a listen, what did you think? I really don't know. Yeah, there's very little on this thing that I would call salvageable. I'm feeling a light to decent 2 on Star Wars Headspace. As experimental as this little EP is, so many parts on this thing had me smiling because I think all the musical tricks and the colorful kaleidoscopic layers of a very synthetic sound on here are very fun. This thing is essentially just interdimensional ear candy, and I can't wait to hear more. This is definitely going to be one of my favorite EPs of the year. I'm feeling a light to decent 8 on this thing.
Hey! This epic got an 8. Hey! This epic got an 8.
At the end of the day, hearing M83 sort of indulge in all of these older pop styles just seems like such a hollow pursuit. This album serves as more of a reminder of why a lot of these sounds are no longer in style, more than it does a reminder of, hey, this is this really cool era of music that there's still potential in, and that, you know, it's cool to revisit. I'm feeling a strong 3 to a light 4 on this record.
Where are you now? Who do you go to?
Look, I'm loving this record. I'm loving the songs, loving the performances, loving the sound play, loving the mix of influences, loving the attitude, loving the themes, the commentary, the storytelling. It's just a great record all around. It's a little all over the place. Yeah, a lot of eras and influences and sounds coming together on one LP, which maybe at one point historically were very separate, not necessarily a whole lot of crossover, but I think that's kind of the beauty, one of the many beauties of this album, which I think is very good, very special, and absolutely worth your time. I'm feeling a strong 8 on this one. Transition. I'm just not really enjoying this at all. This is about as disheveled, unfocused, and pointless as an album in this style can be. There are some fleeting moments of intrigue and beauty here and there in the track list, but don't expect any of it to last for very long. I'm feeling a light to decent 3 on this thing. Transition. The impression that this is one of the greatest or deepest or most cutting edge projects I've heard ever. Certainly it is rough around the edges. It's kind of lightning in a bottle in ways that also benefit it but also disadvantage it a little bit. Feeling a light 8 on this one.
Jungle juice music. New whips, new whips. New whip at the top. Whoa. Hold up. Not even. New whip at the top drop. Super for nigga like Ascension the cop drop. I ain't got no $1 million deals, I still make hits. These niggas got
I thought this new Glitch Mob LP was offensively uninspiring and uninteresting, despite trying to be the exact opposite with how monumental some of these songs feel. But pretty much every song on this LP is just too overblown for how unsubstantial the sound play and the songwriting is. I'm feeling a decent to strong 3 on this thing. Tran. Thought this was a really great album and I absolutely loved it. Really intriguing, unique, fun, and totally weird. And it's absolutely amazing that Matmos have been able to keep their creative energies up and keep them cutting edge so far into their career. I'm feeling a decent to a strong 8 on this thing. Transition. Can't really hang with this album. It's not for me. It just feels like a louder, more overblown version of something I just thought was okay to begin with. But that's only my opinion. Feeling like a strong 4 to a light 5 on this. Is great. The genre fusions that were presented here that weren't on the debut are great. I like that this one went in a slightly more abstract direction. Sure, it does have less material. The ending could have been stronger. There were a few tracks that I thought were just okay, but for the most part, the vast majority of the material on this thing is fantastic and just goes to show how consistent and creative Nicholas Jar continues to be. I'm feeling a light to decent 8 on this one. This might be my least favorite Fortet record ever. I don't like thinking that or saying that, but I guess it is what it is. I'm feeling a decent to strong 4 on this one. Tran. Baby, Overall, fantastic record, great record, wonderful record. Loved it. Some of Keith's best work, period. Big fat W for the vaporwave community as well, as I hope this album kind of snowballs into something. And there have been other releases that have done this, but I hope this record snowballs into another release that kind of transcends the genre and shows people there's like still some serious gas left in the tank of this style of music. This is not just simply some meme genre of music. It's quite versatile. It's quite dynamic. It has a lot going for it, aesthetically and conceptually. And again, I think this record certainly shows that. I'm feeling a strong 8 on this one. Trance. Just so passionless, it's so bland, it's so background, it's so boring. I just really was not expecting this. Sometimes this thing is pleasant, but that's about it. I'm feeling a decent to strong 3 on this thing. Transition. This is a fantastic electronic music album. I cannot say enough nice things about it. It is records like this that remind me that, hey, it's really fun and it's really great being a music reviewer, because if I was not constantly trying to find what is the newest, latest, most interesting thing, an album like this could certainly just float under my radar, totally unnoticed. But now that I'm doing what I'm doing, I don't miss records like this. Thank the Lord, because this is just, it's an excellent record. Groovy record, very fun record, very engaging, very fulfilling. I'm feeling a decent to strong 9 on this thing. Said yet, this album is 70 minutes long or so. Call me an uncultured pleb with no taste whatsoever, but I'm feeling a light 2 on this record.